We're already live? I didn't mean to hit live, but okay. Whatever, we're live. Ask me your VA disability questions. Make sure we got what I need. I did not mean to hit the live button. It always takes a minute. Oh, no. Oh, it worked. Okay, we are live. It worked. Okay, we are live. All right, Josh, welcome to the stream. Appreciate it. Ask me your questions, big dog. No questions, no stream. Just remember that. Brandon Chavez, easy does it. How's it going? What's up? Soul Moon's Rising, thank you for being a member. I appreciate that. How's the hotel? This is we have an adjoined room. So this is one of two. Because I got 4 kids. We have a big fam. It's alright, man. We'll probably be here for a minute. Robert Long, tell me about IBS. Alright, we'll talk about how it's rated. I'm going to use May 19th, the new rating criteria. 10, 20, 30%. 20% is the addition there, and it can now be separated from GERD. I'm talking new only. That's it. That's how IBS is rated. Okay, you're going to be looking at abdominal pain and then the relation between constipation and diarrhea, right? So you'll be backed up for a few days and then the floodgates will open up, so to speak. You can infer from there. But that's IBS. 10, 20, and 30% for service connection. You still need the big 3. The in-service event, the current diagnosis, and the Nexus. Now, IBS is a bit weird because it is roped under the MUCMI, which is the Unexplained Illnesses for PACT Act, okay? Southwest Asia, essentially, to include airspace in like Gulf of Oman, Gulf of Aden, the Red Sea, stuff like that. As far as GERD, I'm gonna go off the new one, okay? 0, I forgot the ones. The highest one is 80%. It's like 10 to 80%, okay? It's esophageal stricture. Oh, I'm tightening up, all right? I have a video on both of those. I'm actually gonna link it to you. Let me just go ahead and find it, but it'll go in depth and it will show you the changes that aren't in 38 CFR yet, but they will be here in about a week or two. But this is the Federal Register of the final pieces of those. So you can check that out, Robert Long. I hope that helps you out. Okay? But that's for IBS and GERD. Both of them are in there with that. Okay. So Josh says, usually I'm just here to chill and watch, anything but the phaser program. I don't even know what that is. It's alright. But I appreciate you coming to the stream. Alright, we have our first donation of the day. Hey, Easy Does It. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, man. Seriously. I really do. He says, I had a sleep study at the VA last week. The report says mild snoring and hypomnia. Isn't that sleep apnea? Yeah, so there are, sleep apnea is mixed, central, and obstructive, okay? Right now, it's based on treatment, so the CPAP is going to be 50%. But to be honest with you, I would just ask the VA, okay? It's difficult for me to, say what your diagnosis is because I don't see the evidence for myself. Just ask, I would ask your primary care, okay? But I'll go ahead and look up hypopnea. Shallow breathing episode during sleep that can indicate sleep-related breathing disorder. Yeah, it sounds like CPAP. It sounds like sleep apnea, excuse me. So, yes, it does. To me, it does, but talk to your primary care. Okay. Edward says, what do exam rework mean? I don't even know what you're referring to. I'm going to assume you're talking about the internal correspondence that the VA sends through your claim. If I were you, I would just not look at that at all, personally. But yeah. Eugene Folan, how do I get a copy of my CMP exam? Yeah, so the easiest way is to use your VSO, assuming you have one in the first place. If they have VBMS access and they are willing, that part's key there. You can see your CMP exam results. If not, you can go to your regional office, make an appointment, and request your CMP exam results. Not your entire C file, just those results. That's generally pretty easy, and I'm gonna link a video on how you can do that. I try not to link too many videos, but it's like I give a very quick answer. That is the answer, but if you want more, you can watch that and really, oh, here we go, right here. Fastest way to get it's about the rating code sheet, but the same thing applies for the CMP exam results. Cadillac Coupe de Ville. Love your channel. Thank you. Appreciate it. Great info. Waiting for my last CMP exam. Then I'm done with my first claim. I'll check back and let you know how it went. Awesome. And depending on what condition your CMP exam is for, check out our website, Check out our website. And everything you need is on there for how that condition is rated, the DBQs, the 38 CFR, videos on that condition, whatever it is, all right? Mark Scott says, hello, can I file for SMCS if they do not give it to me while the word TDIU, all my other disabilities equal to 60? So generally, the VA will award SMCS on their own, but can you? Sure. That's assuming that, I'm going to assume you might meet the criteria. It sounds like there's some question there. So without knowing that, I can't say it. But so the answer to your question, the answer is yes, but generally they would do it. They would have done it by themselves. Christy Bowl, I have a supplemental claim in the decision phase since last November. I recently found out that I can file for the PACT Act due to being Camp Lejeune during the water contamination issue. That is the Camp Lejeune, answer is yes, no. It's irrelevant. Yes, you can file for disabilities related to Camp Lejeune water, given your exposure and that diagnosis. All right. There's also a piece of that you can go to court and be awarded monetary gains for that as well. So it's a twofer. LMD 68. How is sleep apnea rated as a secondary? Yeah, so it doesn't matter if conditions are secondary or direct or PACT Act or TERA or whatever. The condition is rated as the condition is rated. Generally speaking, it would be uncommon to see sleep apnea rated not at 50%. I've seen a few of them, just not many, for the CPAP. That's right now. There's proposed changes. I don't want to get into it. But yeah, it's going to be everything is going to be VA math, all right, which is a disability rating and an efficiency rating. So there's nothing you can do to get away from that. Christy Bowl says, should I wait to file out the PACT Act? Will that stall my supplemental claim? No. No, man. The whole discussion on don't file claims, it'll delay things, that's been gone for years, okay? That's not a thing anymore. File the claim. If you have the evidence, file the claim. I don't care what type of claim it is, file the claim. Now, don't file them individually. Use your entire intent to file to get everything in there. But if you're ready, file the claim. That's it. Don't. It doesn't matter. Kustor Taylor. What up, Mr. Sims? Hello. Thank you, man. Thank you. Do you have to be rated to receive VR&E benefits? Yes. So you need to be rated at least 10%. What's up, Outlaw? Thank you for being a member. I appreciate that. You have to be rated at least 10% to qualify. And then for VR&E, it's an employment program. You also have to show how your disabilities keep you from the workplace, right? Or makes it difficult for you to work. And you have to have an efficiency and training So it's an employment program, not an education program. It's an employment program that you can use for education, to be trained to be hired. Hit the thumbs up. Yeah, Outlaw, thank you for being a member. I appreciate that. If you get value from this, I ask that you hit the thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. It'd help me out. Help me help you. Timothy Cohen, I filed a fully developed claim for bilateral foot drop with symptoms of burning, pain, radiation down both legs and the feet. My limitations are can't balance on one foot without support and can't push. And can't push on one foot to take a larger step. I use a cane, all this stuff, blah, 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 blah. The rating for the sciatic nerve is very subjective. Nexus was more than likely coming from service-connected lumbar strain. Yeah, the sciatic nerve, you have a better shot, especially if your evidence shows your lumbar spine pinching the nerve from the your sciatic nerve for radiculopathy or paralysis or whatever you got going on. Joss, it's a program the VA is doing, partnered with NH, that's doing veteran gene sequencing. They use the info. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's just a test bed, essentially. No, I have seen that before. And there's been an M21 update December of last year about DNA being used against a veteran. So Miguel Lugo had GERD surgery in the Army Hospital. I'm still in service. I have been getting treatment since. Can I claim GERD? Yeah, why not? If you have evidence from service, then you claim it. You're going to need a current diagnosis, right? It's got to be chronic, which I assume is going to be it's going to be present for you, especially with GERD. That's not something that just goes away. But yeah, for anyone out there, if you have evidence from service and you're currently suffering from whatever that is, claim it. Right? Evidence from service, you're already like 90% above all the other veterans submitting claims. Evidence from service is key. Okay. Travis Jeffries, will raters hold decision if change is about to take place? No. And so I'm not saying whatever, I'll be nice today. So how the VA works when a rating change is final. Let's take IBS and GERD, which is May 19th, which is what, in 4 days. If you have a claim right now, the VA is going to rate you off of both rating schedules, and they're going to take the higher. So if your GERD would be at 30%, but your IBS would be at 10% on the old way, and on the new way, your GERD would be at 0 and your IBS would be at 20%. But it would be separate, so you have 0% GERD, 20% IBS. The old way is still higher. The VA is going to take the higher rating. So no, they don't hold decisions, okay? It's not even a thing. They process claims. Simple. Yeah. Jamie Downs, I'm currently service connected for DDD after having back surgery, plus 10% ratings of radiculopathy. Now I think the same thing is, what's your name? Jamie Downs. Happening with my cervical spine. Am I going to be able to have that rated as well? You might be. It just depends. I mean, it's a new claim. You still need the big three: in-service event, current diagnosis, and the Nexus. Whatever happened to your back to cause that could very well be the same in-service event for the neck. I don't know. I don't know your evidence, but it could be. Okay. So the answer is yes. There's some possible direct there, depending on your evidence. It's also possible secondary there as well. Live Life, I skipped your chat, sorry man. Thank you for being a member, I appreciate that. Is chronic pain syndrome rated separately from mental health? Yeah, you can have chronic pain, chronic fatigue, as well as mental health, okay? Now it depends what that looks like, but the answer is yes. And it's, I've seen chronic pain rated, and it's I'll say it like this. I've only seen it rated when the veteran submitted a fully developed claim. All right. Question, currently rated at 60%. I have a claim for a lumbar strain waiting to go before a veteran law judge. Should I wait to file anything secondary? No. If you have the evidence, submit. I can't stress that enough. If you have the evidence, submit the claim. There's no reason to wait. The only reason you would wait is if you didn't have the evidence. Then you'd use your intent to file date, that year time frame to gather the evidence so you can submit the claim. Steve's World. If a person doing a BDD still get a percentage pushed even if all the CMP exams are not complete? Yeah, so claims can be deferred for BDDs. It's not common, all right? I've actually never seen it, but I assume they could be, but it doesn't matter. Generally speaking, your BDD claim will be complete within the first month. I've seen that way more than it taking longer than a month. So BDD is the way to go. JTW, no. Wanda Davis, hi Clay, what up? I'm at 90%. 94. Ooh, pretty close. I have diabetes type 2. Should I claim it secondary to hypertension or claim as new? Hypertension rated at 30. You can if you, so there's no, I don't like it when veterans ask me, do I claim it direct or do I claim it secondary? Because I would prefer you know the process. If you claim it direct, you have to have in-service events. Period, right? If you claim it secondary, you need to have evidence indicating that it is in fact secondary. In this case, it's a solid secondary, okay? So assuming you don't have the in-service event, which there's no way of me knowing that. So this answer is, grain of salt because I don't know the context. It sounds like secondary is the way to go. Fly, Eagles, Fly says, keep up the great work. #1 YouTube channel, don't beat the Sharks. Thank you. I appreciate that. I really do. People get, you would be surprised at the email traffic I get, hate mail when it comes to my personal beliefs on claims consulting companies. It's insane. God forbid someone have their own opinion, right? But whatever, that's neither here nor there. I'm just ranting at that point. All right, Indy Outdoors. Is a CMP exam required with a supplemental claim? Probably, unless you have a fully developed, you have that independent medical opinion in the DBQ and it is sufficient. Key word there, it is sufficient. Yeah. Live life, thank you for being a member. I appreciate that. Says if you have a diagnosis that is years old, but you are still being treated for that condition, if you're still being treated, that's good enough for VA rating purposes, okay? And you'll see that, especially if it's by the VA, you'll see your SCT or your treatment code, which is solid evidence, all right? We have a donation, thank you very much. HVAC Mike, I appreciate that. Says just got diagnosed for sleep apnea. I got to pick up my CPAP at the end of this. Hey, congrats to you, man. That's on the healthcare side of the house. But as of right now, that is a 50% rating. You might want to consider submitting that claim if you can tie it to service. All right, Andrew says, hope you slept well, buddy. You look tired today. Yeah, I actually just came back from the National Guard Bureau. I taught my basic master course for VA disability. It's about a 2-hour brief. My voice might sound a little coarse, that's why. It was cool though. We had some National Guard Reserve out there in Arlington, Virginia. Taught them, we've recorded the whole thing, so I'm sure you'll see that at some points. But I'm starting to get in front of service members and preach the good word on VA benefits. All right, Robert W., thank you very much for being a member. I appreciate that. Says I'm 100% P&T. Okay, my new psych doctor insists that I do group therapy and anger management. I said no, I've already done both. Do I have to? No. One, you're P&T, so if you're, I'm gonna assume you're worried about your rating being lowered. It's not. You're fine. All the clickbait around P&T being lowered is baloney, okay? And I'll die on that hill. Unless there's fraud involved or the VA made a mistake. And if they made a mistake, it's within a few weeks. They will recoup that. If not, don't. I understand the clickbait game, okay? I'm also on YouTube, obviously. Just make sure you read. So no, you don't have to go. If you don't want to do healthcare, you don't have to. On my Patreon, Robert, I talk about the same thing where I stopped. I've been in and out of treatment since 2014, and I essentially just stopped going and did my own thing. As long as you're open and transparent with your provider on that. LG, thank you for being a member. I appreciate that. Says, what up? Thank you for answering the question concerning hypertension, secondary MH anxiety. Definitely keep you posted. Yeah, please do, man. And thank you for being a member. I appreciate that. All right. Richard Hogland says, can you claim plantar secondary to back or just other way around? I would like you, Richard, to think about how your back is causing your plantar fasciitis. And then you said the other way around, which I don't know your situation, but then I would ask you the same question. How is your plantar fasciitis causing your back pain? Right? And what's the evidence indicating the case? You can't just say, my plantar fasciitis came from my back. It actually has to come from your back. Okay? Yeah, Robert W. I would just be transparent with your provider there. It's totally normal. Okay? I've refused treatment for vertigo. I don't know if you've ever done vertigo physiotherapy, but it is brutal. Okay? And I did it once and I refused. All right, Rick Shockley, thanks for being a member. I appreciate that. So I have an old diagnosis for migraines that was labeled as lifetime condition, but recently been prescribed sumatriptan from the VA. Does that count as a diagnosis? Refill twice. Yes, you'll have your SCT code. I'm gonna link something for you in the chat, man. When it comes to how to find your diagnosis or your SCT codes, and for VA rating purposes, that will suffice. But there it is right there. There it is. Hey, if you get value from, me sitting in a hotel room talking to a phone and answering your questions, I ask that you hit the like button. It helps me get the information out to more veterans, and I would appreciate that. All right, Mark Scott. The VA awarded me TDIU with 70 for disabilities, and 2 years later was awarded P&T. Yeah, it's very, very common to see TDIU be upgraded to P&T. Very, very common, right? Obviously, if your disabilities are that bad to cause you to not have gainful employment, you could see how that would turn into P&T. Drinking a 2-liter Mountain Dew. Okay. Charles Sneed, what is the VSO? How are they different from my VA rep? Your VA rep, I'm going to assume you're talking about the person handling your claims, has some type of accreditation. That's all it is. There's veteran service organizations. There are thousands of them. Then there are those that are accredited by the VA. Okay. Sorry, there's a phone call over there. Just want to make sure we're good. Yeah, but accreditation. That's it. So VFW, they're an accredited VSO. Okay, they are someone who's accredited to handle your claim. Soko Mao, claiming vertigo secondary to tinnitus, but I'm diagnosed with Meniere's. Yep. Have the Nexus for Meniere's, so will VA more likely rate me for vertigo or Meniere's? Solid Solid freaking question. I'm gonna link a video in the chat, but I'm going to give you a brief synopsis of it, okay? It depends. And if you watch this, you'll understand what I'm about to say, but I'm just gonna spit it out and hopefully you're able to digest what I'm about to tell you. But that's the ear condition video. So the VA is assuming service connection for everything, the VA is gonna take the higher ratings. You're either gonna be rated for tinnitus, hearing loss, and vertigo, or dizziness, okay? Those three, or Meniere's. They're the same. And the VA will take the highest. Meniere's is rated at 30, 60, or 100. Fact check me on that. I think that's the numbers off memory. So let's say your tinnitus is 10, your hearing loss is 0, your vertigo is 10, your Meniere's is 30. Your tinnitus and vertigo ratings will essentially be roped into Meniere's at their 30. Now let's say your Meniere's is 30, your tinnitus is 10, your hearing loss is 20, and your vertigo is 30. Obviously these three are higher, so then your Meniere's would be roped under that. The VA is going to do VA stuff. What matters is we submit evidence-based claims. So I hope that answers your question. All right, Tracy M, thanks for being a member. I appreciate that. Is it possible to claim urinary frequency secondary to major depressive disorder? I'm service connected for lumbar DDD and obese as well. The lumbar, your lower back is probably going to be the best route for urinary frequency. Okay. Now your others can definitely contribute to that for sure, but I would explore the back. Now what I would do is just go to your primary care, your referred care, and say, hey, I got this urinary frequency issue I got going on. I also have this lower back condition. Are those two connected? And start building evidence for that. But lower back would be my go-to. It's a common secondary for that. Dan R, thank you for being a member. I appreciate that. Members are strong in the chat today. Okay. I'm going to answer Christopher Flores' question too. Why are claims taking so long for final rating, even with VBA errors and claims? Man, I can't answer that, man. Okay, so it depends. People are getting claims done in less than 100 days. Right now, as we speak. Right, a ton of people are. There's also a good portion where claims are taking forever. And there's so many factors going on, there's no way I can give an answer to that. But Christopher Flores says, can I own my own business with P&T status? You can be a billionaire and be 100% P&T. All right, let's keep answering questions. Oh, we have a donation. Thank you very much, Billy Hartman, with the super sticker of the gym dude. Hey, I appreciate that, man. I definitely appreciate that. Okay, Robert Long says they are telling me because I take meds for hypertension and is controlled, no compensation, although blood pressure spikes. Yeah, so there's a few things there. If your medication controls it, you're generally going to be rated at 0%, maybe 10. Okay, if your blood pressure spikes, then you need to get readings of that and use that as evidence for your increased claim. Okay. Donovan Salick, hey, thank you very much, man. I definitely appreciate that. He says Clay knows his stuff. Thank you. Watched his videos and went from 40 to 100% P&T. Godspeed. Hey, I appreciate that, dude. The whole goal of this channel in the beginning was just to help veterans. And I always told myself if I helped one veteran, it would be worth it. And that's turned into what it is now. So I definitely appreciate that, dude. Small things like that help me, just keeps me going. Okay, Terry, does combat training, i.e. witnessing a tank fire burn victim, count for combat? No, combat is combat, okay? Now, if something happened, the PTSD doesn't matter if it's combat related or not. It's PTSD, okay? So the question's irrelevant, but to give you an answer, no, it's not combat. Combat is combat, okay? like receiving fire, returning fire, locate, close with, destroy the enemy with fire maneuver. LG&E, thanks for being a member and a moderator. Says, bro, I should be meeting with my VR&E consultant next week or so. Do you think I have a smaller chance of being approved? The 100% P&T status definitely helps your case, I'll tell you that, but you really need to focus on your current skills and why you are not able to find a position, okay? Because remember, VR&E is an employment program. Wolfgang S. Hey, thank you very much, Wolfgang. Appreciate that. Says CMP diagnosed in Nexus for DDD, lumbar, lower spine. However, only service-connected DDD. Denied right lower leg radiculopathy because linked to DDD. Should I file supplemental and no lumbar? I would. It depends why you were denied. Like, were you diagnosed with right lower radiculopathy? Because if so, then you have an argument. If you weren't diagnosed, then you weren't diagnosed, right? So it depends why you were denied in the first place. If they're saying that you do have the diagnosis, but your lumbar spine isn't causing that, what I would do personally is go to your primary referred care, get evidence of that condition actually causing your radiculopathy, because you only need an at least as likely. As long as there's no other cause, it should be there, and then that would be a supplemental claim. Killian, thank you very much, brother. I appreciate that, man. Thank you. Tracy M says, thanks, Clay. I did go to the VA healthcare. However, they only gave me a urine analysis medication for overactive bladder. It's pain to get them. Yeah, I totally agree with that, and it sucks. Okay, man, I gotta get through all these. Okay, Rick Shockley says, I've been seeing a chiropractor for back, knees, and neck problems. Can a chiropractor be an acceptable diagnosis source? What a tough question, man. The answer is yes. As far as like, the answer is yes, right? Now, would I pay them for a medical opinion? That answer is no, every single day of the week. And that's just my opinion, all right? But the answer is yes. All right, FuseMan30, thank you very much, brother. I appreciate that, man, seriously. I absolutely appreciate that. Thank you very much. FuseMan30, killing it. Okay, more questions. So, Ross Short says, Simplify, brother, what's up? Thanks for informing vets with real information. Hey, thanks, man, I appreciate that. Brett Sism says, how would you feel about a claim if a CMP examiner came to a positive Nexus statement through direct, but you personally don't know how they came to the specific conclusion? Yeah, so this is what's funny to me, is when veterans submit a VA claim, the VA will look at all avenues of service connection. So for instance, in your case, you submitted secondary, it was connected on a direct basis. One, who gives it? Who cares? Service connection is service connection. You already won. But let's talk about it. The reason why I bring that up is because the VA will, if you submit a secondary, it doesn't matter. The VA is going to look at direct. They're going to look at TARA. If TARA applies, talk to exposure. And so sometimes when you're denied a secondary, let's say you were denied, you could also be denied 3 times in that one claim, saying we didn't find a link secondary, we didn't find a link direct, and we didn't find a link TARA, meaning 3 opinions were denied. It's kind of funny to me when that happens. But to answer your question, it doesn't matter. Service connection is service connection. Let it ride. Jeremiah T says, awesome channel. Hey, thank you. Appreciate that. Thanks to your information, my claim finally wasn't denied and got a CMP exam. Keep preaching the big 3. The big 3. You know, people get so mad when you tell the truth. That's what I've noticed on YouTube. The big 3 is not my opinion. It is VA. It's how the VA makes decisions. okay? So anyone giving advice that's not within the big three is kind of like a vet bro, is what I would call them. So stick with the big three. That's all you need. Christy Bowl, can I file for the issues from the Camp Lejeune water contamination on my own, or should I obtain an attorney? If you're talking about VA disability, initial claims, I would just do those on your own, okay, especially for the presumptives. If you're talking about the lawsuit, I would recommend a lawyer. I have all medical records showing my health issues that are part of the PACT Act. Yeah. Anthony Castillo says, I'm getting $5,000 for the earplug settlement. Congrats. Oh, Live Life, thank you for being here. I appreciate that. If you have a claim sitting at the Board of Appeals, will a new claim be awarded or denied before the old B of A claim is adjudicated? It could, I mean, I'm going to assume you're talking about different conditions, and the answer is yes. The answer is yes. For anyone asking questions about me, I'm going to link my About Me, because I don't feel like talking about it. There's my About Me. Okay. Josh, DNA used against a veteran. Oh, I'll be looking deep into that before I consider it. Yeah, no. It can't be used against you. Okay? It can't. There's the info one change in December of last year. I'm gonna pull it up. I remember doing it. That talks about that DNA not being able to be used against a veteran. I just need to find it real quick. I know it is somewhere. Here it is. Boom, that's the imprinting one change about DNA. Terry, if you get 70% or 100% for PTSD, are you at risk of losing your Second Amendment right? No. 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 No, 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 no. Killian, finally received my C file and service treatment records only 9 months. 9 months is on the high end. That sucks for you, man. But now that you have them, you might want to start combing through your STRs. Start that process now. Thank you for being a member, though. Appreciate that. Okay. John Lee, are appeal claims faster to process? Nope. And I think that's extremely apparent. Dirt Road Dreamers, Clay, thanks for all the information and videos you are involved in. Thanks, thumbs up. Thank you very much. And yes, if you get value from this, I ask that you hit the like button. Okay? The more likes there are, the more veterans that see the information, the more we can be service connected. Killian, yeah, they're all out of order. Yeah. All right, Remy86 says, hello there. I'm P&T with TDIU for multiple service-connected conditions. That's 90, but I'm paid 100%. If I'm granted 80%, do I qualify? You might. You might. Okay. Josh says that's news to me. I thought the VA didn't care about pain. No, pain is rated, right? Even for like your wrist, you can have full range of motion, but with pain is 10%. Right? We see that with backs, all kinds of stuff. All right, Jay Free, is a diagnosis a Nexus letter? No. And one doctor's visit enough for a secondary claim? Okay. First off, it depends what you're talking about. I would only recommend a medical opinion and a DBQ if you've been denied and you have the evidence, okay? 1. 2, I would be cautious at getting a diagnosis during that one-time visit, especially if it's someone outside of your care. If you're going to like a private provider for that one time for the Nexus letter service, I would be cautious of that diagnosis, right? Get the diagnosis, get the evidence from your primary care, use that to build the Nexus, and then your Nexus letter provider would appreciate it anyways, okay? Gunner, just applied for sleep apnea. Secondary to mental health, currently at 70%. Will they reevaluate me? No. You're 60, no. And I have a Nexus. The answer is no. Okay, Neil Conway, thank you for being a member. He says, just dropping in to say hi. What do you guys do when you are overwhelmed with all of this? I think you're asking me, what do I do when I'm overwhelmed with, I don't know what all this is. I'm just going to put what I want to talk about in there. YouTube stuff, dude. I just sit down and do it. The more the Marine Corps would call it white space. The more white space I have, the more time, bad things start happening. So I just keep myself busy, and that's what helps me. All right, Crafty Coaster says, 2 months ago, I got an upgrade from 60 to 90. Back, sleep apnea, and shoulder. I also fit perfectly into the PACT Act. Should I go ahead and make the claim now or wait? So your back, sleep apnea, and shoulder. I'm so confused by this question. I mean, you either have the diagnosis or you don't for the conditions under PACT Act. And if you have the diagnosis, then you submit the claim. All right, Altruistic Torah Study says, do you submit a claim for chronic pain and back pain when back is service connected? So that depends, man, okay, because there's, for instance, there's psoriatic arthritis. I'm probably not saying that right. Arthritis everywhere would be an example of that, when it would. So it just depends on like what chronic pain are we actually talking about. And if that chronic pain is only in your back, it's already rated. All right, Molly Rojas says, I've been trying to file a claim, but my lawyer is asking for my military medical records, but I don't know how to access them. I've been out for 4 years. Something's weird here, okay? If you're speaking with a lawyer who's accredited, one, they have access to VBMS. So they are much, much better off getting it than you are. Two, if you're talking about initial claims, I would just submit the initial claim, right? Get a list, write down everything you were seen for, everything you weren't seen for, get the evidence, use the big three, submit the claim. Perch Pounder, I just got rated 100% P&T, congrats. However, some of my conditions were rated super low, and despite evidence and DBQ, should I leave it alone? That's totally you, okay? If those conditions will grant you SMC, now's the time to do it. If you don't think so, right, or you don't think it's worth it, all means. That's a you decision. I can't really answer that question for you without knowing the evidence myself. But hey, you're P&T, so congrats. Eric Dorsey says, I'm 100% P&T, also congrats. I'm still be actively treated for my service-connected injuries except mental health. Being doing alternative treatment for mental health, how would you document these for possible future VA exams? Okay, dude. I want everyone to listen to me right now. If you're a P&T, there is no possible future exam. I'm going to say that again. I know YouTube thumbnails will tell you differently. Here, listen to me. If you're a P&T, there is no possible future exams. Say it with me, okay? No future exams, P&T. Don't worry about it. If you want to seek healthcare for healthcare reasons, which I recommend, go on and do that, okay? If you are stressing out and you're losing sleep because the VA is going to take your rating, because that's what YouTube tells you, they're not. So smoke a J, do whatever you want, relax, breathe. You're P&T, brother. You made it. Congrats. Soko Mao says claimed vertigo secondary to tinnitus and diagnosed with Meniere's, which could warrant a 60% rating. Will VA just give me 30% or give that 60% have a nexus for Meniere's? Well, okay. Vertigo secondary to tinnitus and you have Meniere's. Yeah, it depends. So it depends, okay? When it comes to tinnitus, hearing loss, and vertigo, the VA will take those three individually or Meniere's, whichever is higher. Cumulatively, whichever is higher, okay? And you don't get to choose. The VA will just take whatever is higher. All right, Alejandro Diaz, thank you for being a member. I appreciate that. Says, I have a supplemental claim currently in process for my lower back. That's in my service record, the new diagnosis. I also filed secondary for radiculopathy, neck, IBS, and shoulder, as well as do I need a Nexus letter? You don't need a Nexus letter, you need a Nexus. You have the in-service event, so it seems like the foundation is there, which is good, okay? But there's no way I can recommend a Nexus letter without even seeing the decision letter for myself. Chris Gutierrez, thank you for being a member, says, my brother, you look great. You are really a gift to this world. Thank you, Chris. I love you too. All right. Molly Rojas, does anyone know how I can access my military records? Yeah, either National Archives or your C file. Papa Chen, went PFN earlier today. How long till I see the rating to generate? So here's every single person with a timeline question. There's not a single person on this entire freaking planet that can ever answer a timeline question. When will my rating be complete? How long does the HLR take? How long does the supplemental take? I'm in PFN, I'm in PFD. How long is it gonna take? No one on the whole planet, not even the VA Secretary himself, our boy Dennis McDonough, knows the answer to that question. It's hurry up and wait. Welcome to the sub. Okay, Tim Goit, what up, big dog? Says, how many people have been compensated for PFAS for things not on the presumptive list? I don't know how many people for that condition, but I can tell you I've seen it a few times, just in veterans that I've spoken to. All right, Dom, 1983, says, recently denied my increase under that diagnostic code. The VA stated my pain has remained moderate. The next percentage are moderately severe and severe. The VA does not define the next level of ratings. What now? Whatever is in the 38 CFR, you need to get evidence for. I don't know what diagnostic code 5284 is, but I'll just Google that for you. Diagnostic code 5284. Injuries to the foot. Okay, we're talking foot conditions. Nerves in the foot and the leg. Foot injuries other. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's not flat feet, it's not plantar fasciitis. And so what does that look like to you? Okay. That one is weird. You're going to have to look at the M21 for that. And in fact, I just did a video on it, and I'm going to link it below for you once I find it, which it is right here. Here it is, right here. Only, man, I hate when I make a banger video and it fucking, excuse me, it flops. Okay. Douglas Smith, currently completing application online. I'm including some statements in support of the claim. Is this the place to discuss why I believe connected to already service conditions? No, it's not. You can't make the nexus, so it doesn't matter. That's not what statements are for. Statements are to support your evidence, whether that's medical or evidence other than medical, to talk about then the event surrounding whatever happened, your current symptoms, what that looks like, and then maybe a statement. Let's take tinnitus and migraines. You know, hey, when my tinnitus flares, it usually aggravates my migraines, right? But you can't say, I believe my migraines are service connected to my are connected to my tinnitus, because you're not a doctor, right? You're just some dude. All right, AF Vent. Thank you for being a member. I appreciate that. It says, hello, Bretta. Have you seen any updates regarding the questions Senator Warren sent to the VA? No, I have not, but there was a VA OIG report talking about dirty C&P exams, which I find it's very coincidental that these two reports came out at the same time. I assume they're related. I have no idea. But no, there hasn't been any update to Senator Warren's inquiry to the Secretary of the VA. Sarah P., thank you for being a member. I appreciate that. Says, hi Clay, apparently my VSO submitted my menstrual disorder claim previously denied as a supplemental. What I have to do in the C&P exam? Yeah, so if you were denied, it has to be a supplemental unless you're going to do an HLR or the Board of Appeals, right? Supplemental more than likely was the right answer here, so there's nothing wrong with that. Are you going to have to do another C&P exam? Two things. One, was that supplemental fully developed? Probably not. And two, even if it was, the answer is yes. And if it's not, the answer is definitely yes. So yes. Okay. Toxic Ghost says, can you do a video on bad papers, wrongfully discharged, or discharged upgrades? Yeah, I can. I can do that. I'll add it to my list. Holy baloney. Sarah P says I submitted my medical records. All right. It depends why you were denied. That would warrant the supplemental in the first place, but all right. Johan Maldonado, dude. I always feel super freaking weird when this happens, but thank you very much. I appreciate that. It says, just wanted to say thanks for what you do for us. I know we ask the same questions over and over. It's okay. It is okay, right? I've been doing this live streaming for over a year now, and the streams, in a selfish way, make me a lot better, right? So it's okay. Ask the same questions, I'll give you the same answers. But thank you for that. I appreciate that, man. Seriously. I always feel weird when this happens, but I definitely appreciate it. Gets frustrating when we are left in the void, as we call it. Hurry up and wait. Hey, simplify to you, and thank you very much, man. Seriously. Thank you. Damn. All right, Hector Gonzalez. Your videos have given me hope. Oh, awesome. That's good. Thank you very much. If you get value from this, hit the like button. I'd appreciate it. Been top 3 of my resources go-to from 10 to 70. Thank you. Hoping to get 100 in the near future. All right. If you're properly rated at 100, then go for it. Can I own a business with P&T status? I own my business. Hector Gonzalez, I got favorable finding in my last C&P exam, but denied for back and numbness down the legs. Yeah, I'm going to need some context on that, Hector, to even remotely give you an answer for that. Like, what favorable finding? Was it the in-service event? Was it the current diagnosis? I don't know. Molly, I've never been to the VA for anything medical before. Would they still have my military medical records? Yeah, so you need to get associated with the VA, okay? Apply for healthcare, start making your VA benefits, and the VA is going to pull your STRs, okay? What you need to do, you don't need your service treatment records to submit a claim. Just think back, saying, hey, I was seen for these things, I'm hurting for these things, and submit the claim, okay? That is basic 101. G Wiz says, how can I get a discharge upgrade? You gotta go through the process, man, and it depends on the nature of your discharge, okay? And do I need a lawyer? Depends on the nature of your discharge. All right, D Land says, thank you for all you do. Dude, thank you very much. I definitely appreciate that. Seriously. Sitter P says, basically, I refused the pelvic exam because I'm an MST survivor and was trying not to worsen my PTSD. Ah, man, I hate reading that, but that sucks, okay? There's no answer for me there, but I'm sorry. I'm sorry that happened to you. All right, Calvin Bartlett says, had a CMP exam for respiratory. CMP exam says I need to get checked for sinusitis and asthma, which I feel would the examiner diagnose me for asthma and sinusitis. CMP examiners are very reluctant to diagnose because it is a one-time visit, and that's not going to line up with what a chronic diagnosis means, okay? Especially for PACT Act, veterans have got to stop submitting PACT Act related claims without a diagnosis. I'm very serious about that. Veterans absolutely need to submit their claim for the diagnosis, especially if it's presumptive. That's all you need. Presumptive, meet the criteria, you'll be service connected. All right? Fuse Man, thank you very much, brother. Appreciate that. Is it possible to message you outside of live chats? Would like to ask your opinion on a claim situation. Just too much to type here. Fuse Man, this one time, I know I'm gonna get a buttload of emails, but for you, Fuse Man, I need you to send me an email right here, okay? TheCivDiv@gmail.com. In the subject line, put your FuseMan30 in the subject line, okay? And then go ahead and message me whatever it is you want, and I'll get to it. Yep, I got you. I got you. Okay. Tim, we answered that one. Richard Parker, do you have any advice for someone going through the med process, still in service, to transition? Yeah, the med process is super easy. Turn up your volume, okay? I'm live. There's no way to turn it up unless I yell. But the med process is super easy because you're doing something called an IDES, with integrated disability, IDES, okay? And it happens simultaneously. If you're being med boarded, you have to go through the med process. That sucks, but at least VA disability kind of happens simultaneously. Turn up the volume on your phone. There's no volume mechanism I can use to turn up my volume because I'm streaming from my phone. So you gotta turn yours up. Okay. Tari Douse says, CMP examiner told me that it is only for active duty members only. I don't even know what you're talking about. Talk about downplaying an accident that happened while on training orders that really messed my body up and mentally. Yeah, I don't know the context to what you're referring to, but if something happened while you were active, I don't care if you were at home or on vacation. Service is service, and so that's a claimable condition. Christy Bull says, you're awesome. Thanks for what you do for us. You helped me get to 80%. I appreciate all your help. I appreciate you. Thank you. Seriously. All right. Robert W. says, oh, y'all can hear the baby. She's in the next room. Thank you, Devil Dog. Hey, Robert. Thank you, man. Seriously. I appreciate that. Thank you. Okay. And I have an iPhone. Joe Torres says, misdiagnosed PTSD claim for depression and anxiety, waiting 2 years to appeal review. Yeah, Joe, there's some context here, okay? Thank you, Billy. There's some context here. So first, whatever the reason your depression and anxiety was denied is probably going to be the same reason your PTSD is denied, unless you're talking about a stressor, all right? They're rated the same, and I would assume the in-service events would also be the same. Yeah, thank you, Billy. Appreciate that. All right, the volume's up on my phone, brother. Kendrick Rhodes, I have submitted DPQs for an increase and also already submitted all documents. The VA is asking for another exam after already completing one, the first, and now being asked for another exam. Why? Because the VA is developing your claim, and I know that's a poopy answer, but that's the answer, right? They need to develop your claim, and it sucks. The VA's, the process at them scheduling unwarranted exams, which I don't know if yours is unwarranted or not, but the process the VA uses to schedule exams is absolutely jacked up. Absolutely jacked up, okay? That's just the nature of the beast. If you get 100% P&T, can they take it away? Technically, the answer is yes, but you're not going to see it, right? Unless you have fraud or the VA made a mistake. If the VA made a mistake, they'll do it within weeks, okay? I've seen it within a week and a half. P&T was rescinded to say, "Oop, my bad." But no, that the whole belief system that P&T, the VA is just going through veterans' P&T ratings and just swiping them is absolutely baloney, right? It's fake news, some would say. Richard Parker says, what advice would you have for someone going through the med? We already answered that one. Are you seeing many claims? We already answered that one. Buck Haney says 10% service connected for knee and just had spinal infusion paid for through the VA. Can I connect my lower back secondary to my knee? What is your evidence that shows that your spine is connected to your knee, right? Is your knee 0%, 10%? What does that look like? Just depends. You know, you can't just say something is secondary. It actually has to be secondary. All right, I'm gonna end the stream here. I think Mimi and Pop next door need help with the. I'm just gonna block this dude. Okay. Seems like Mimi and Pop need help next door with the kids. All right. So see y'all later. Thank you everyone for asking questions. If there's no questions, aim high. If there's no questions, there's no live stream. All right. So if I gave you value, please hit the like button. I got a video dropping in 30 minutes about a new 100% P&T benefit or an updated to that benefit. So you definitely want to check that out. I'll see y'all later.